now I have no apple butter. I have no applesauce. I have no fresh apples. I don't have anything. Nothing. Well, it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained, and all the weed seeds just grew. And now it's in the fall and the weeds are touching my feet and they're driving me insane. This whole bed should have 2 giant rows of carrot, about 20 feet, nothing. That's a really big disappointment for me. Okay, so the garden is sad, but this table is definitely not. Gardening is not always Pinterest perfect, and this year was a perfect example of that. I'm going to walk around and show you everything that looks absolutely terrible. There are a lot of places in the garden that are dry. We are not officially in a drought, but we might as well be. The grass is places it shouldn't be. The tomatoes, I probably will have very few to can. I'm going to have to go out and buy some of those. The ones that I thought would just produce and produce gave me maybe 2 grocery bags full of tomatoes, which isn't enough to preserve for my family for the winter. Sometimes I get down on myself because I'm like, if this was back in the day, we wouldn't survive. And my husband says, good thing we can go to the grocery store. It is a good thing, but I still want to garden and preserve things. So today I'm going to show you all the things that look really bad. And I'm going to try to take my own advice, and I'm going to just keep going. We're going to start over here in our flower bed. The hydrangeas, the creeping Jenny, all of it, just dead. All of it's dead. There's Bermuda grass everywhere. This spot last year had big, beautiful hydrangeas, and this year, I'm not sure they're going to come out of it. And yes, I have been watering them. So this obviously was not the best spot to put a hydrangea, even though they said they were full sun capable. Back over here on this side of the flower bed, this is the yard side of the same flower bed. You can just see it. It's yellow, it's dying. That is Bermuda grass, all in all of my perennials where it doesn't belong. That Rose of Sharon back there has not bloomed in the 3 years that it's been planted. And this year the grasshoppers just absolutely took it over. There is some goldenrod that's about to bloom, just not quite there yet. We also have a mum and the sedum and the comfrey. Those are doing great. They love it here. But this whole front flower bed, last year, you see these cracks, those big giant cracks? That's how dry it is. I do have clay soil, which typically I actually like because it holds the moisture so well. And then over here, I didn't get to cutting my thyme back. This is another thyme patch. And so the Bermuda took over. Fun stuff. So that's just the flower bed. So that's the fail in this main garden flower bed that I have here. And this is what I see from my living room window. So it's not fun to just look out my living room window and see this every day. These apple trees back here are well suited for our climate, so that is not the problem, but I did nothing to prevent the worms from eating the apples. I did not hang anything in the trees to try to collect the worms or the moths, whatever exactly was eating them. I did not treat them. I didn't spray them with anything. I didn't use any organics. I did absolutely nothing because last year I did nothing. And I got apples. So I thought, well, my apple trees don't need anything because they're awesome. Well, guess what? They're not awesome because they needed something because I got no apples. So now I have no apple butter. I have no applesauce. I have no fresh apples. I don't have anything. Nothing. Because I thought I was better than that. Guess what? We're not. And as you can see, it's also full of weeds. So we're working on that as well. I spent so much time this spring trying to keep the weeds down in the orchard because I was going to plant perennial flowers and we were going to have walkways and all this stuff. Well, it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and all the weed seeds just grew. And then it got so hot, nobody wanted to be outside. So I didn't weed it. And now it's in the fall and the weeds are touching my feet and they're driving me insane. We're going to get control of this orchard. We've already started. My husband's going to help. We are going to have a productive orchard. This is about 2,000 square foot of orchard space. And I want the fruit because the raspberries and the blackberries and the apple trees, I have honeyberries planted in here. I want a productive orchard and I'm bound and determined to do it. All right, let's go see what else failed me. All right, we come out to the garden. It looks lush. Right here, we have a cantaloupe. There is one cantaloupe growing on that giant vine. It's over here. It's not even where the cantaloupe is. It's way over there. Cantaloupe, tucked in there. These big, beautiful zucchinis that I waited and waited because I was trying to beat the squash bugs. I have had one zucchini. That's it. One. These tomato plants that you can see here. There's a tomato plant. Here's a tomato plant. There's a tomato plant. I have put away 2 grocery bags of tomatoes, and I have made bruschetta once. I'm going to make it again because today is my birthday and I want bruschetta. So we're going to do that. But the garden's green. It looks good. We have some peppers growing over here. But I mean, you've seen me preserve and harvest a few things, but nothing like this a garden this size should be able to do. I 100% think that it is in my soil. I think that my soil is lacking something, or it's too high in something. I don't know what it is, but I will find out, and I'm going to try to amend it so that next year it looks much better. Over here, we're supposed to have my squash bed. There are a couple little squash. I'll show you. They're so cute. They're right there on the ground in my walkway. Yeah, those are supposed to be like way bigger than that. That's a delicata squash. So I have been battling squash bugs. So my planting late idea, yeah, it didn't work. There are more pests than I can keep up on. I have squash bugs, I have harlequin bugs, I have roly-polies, I have ants. I have them all. And I think all of that has to do with my soil. Soil health is so important. And I do a no-till garden. I put the compost in and I rotate my crops. I have a decent amount of beds that I can rotate, but still something is seriously off. I know we got so much rain in the springtime, and so a lot of the roots stayed really shallow, and then it got really hot really fast, and that caused all of them to have heat stress as well. So their roots were shallow because they were used to getting so much rain, so they didn't go down deep into that clay soil where there would be adequate moisture when the sun really got hot and the weather got hot. And so I've had water stress, I've had pest issues. I think a lot of it has to do with my soil, and I do amend it every year, but I just don't think it's enough. So this year, and I don't know why I've waited so long to get a soil test, but this year I did go ahead and get a soil test. And I went with my extension office to get my soil test, so I'm really excited to work with them to figure out what is going on with my soil. Let me show you some more things that went wrong. Okay, this bed we're looking at right now should have cabbage down the center, and it should have carrots on each side of it. Not a single. Actually, that's a lie. I believe one carrot came up. I don't know if the roly-polies ate them or they just didn't sprout. I'm not 100% sure. I did use good seed, yes. Also, the cabbage in the middle, harlequin bugs just loved it. They were eating the heck out of it. So let's see if I can find my one. Yep, here it is. See this? I don't know if you can see it right now. Right here. Carrot. That one little carrot. This whole bed should have 2 giant rows of carrots, about 20 feet. Nothing. That's a really big disappointment for me because I love winter carrots. Over here, we have where there should be daikon radish, tiller radish. 0. I have found none. These are the Armenian cucumber. 0. These plants have given me no Armenian cucumbers. Over here we have our tomatoes. There's a couple in there I need to pick. But see all those green ones? Yeah, they don't turn red. I don't know what's going on. So that's fun. Let me show you what an ant can do right here. See that? Can you see it? See how dark those okras are? Yep, ants. Ants are eating my okra way up tall. You wouldn't think so. I guess they're just so sweet and delicious, which they are. All right, last bed. Again, these should have cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli. and nothing. The Harlequin bugs ate all my sprouts of my Brussels sprouts and my broccoli, and the turnips that were supposed to be up here, not a single turnip sprouted. Turnips are easy, guys. What did I do? Is something eating them? I know I watered them. See that? See those cucumbers right there? I should pick them. I just haven't. Enough of the negative Nancy here. I am very frustrated today because all of the work that I've put in for my fall garden is just nothing. Everything is not coming in. So there are also some good things going on today. Like I said earlier, it is my birthday. And I am going to make a bruschetta. My husband is making me a filet. We butcher our own beef, and we keep the special cuts of meat like fillets and the steaks for special occasions. So that's one of them. Today, he's gonna make me a filet for my birthday. I'm going to make the bruschetta. The best tasting bruschetta is when you use the freshest ingredients. And that is what I love about bruschetta and the summertime. So we're gonna have bruschetta, we're gonna have filet, we're gonna pick whatever the garden has to offer us. And also I am going to replant some of the seedlings as well. I do have some of those that I can show you. A good thing about me is whenever I plant something, I'm like, oh yeah, I need about 20. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start about 40 of them. So I do have some plants to go into the garden, so hopefully I can still keep it lush well into the winter. But some of my root crops that I was really hoping on, I think it's too late for them. It takes our carrots about 75 days and we only have about 45 until our first frost. So I just don't think it's long enough to get them to produce, which is really sad. The daikon radish and the turnips I am going to replant. Penny's swinging, playing on the kids' swing underneath that tree. I think she's trying to destroy it. Okay, so the garden is sad, but this table is definitely not. These are all of the starts that I have to go and have more broccoli. I have more kale. We have Napa cabbage. These over here, they got eaten by something, so I need to throw them out, but I just haven't done it yet. We also have our multi-sown beets that we're gonna put into the garden. So yes, we have a lot of failure, but the seed room is still packed with seeds, and so is my seed starting table. So it's not all bad, and I need to quit being so negative about it. All right, so I did a little bit of harvesting. I have some tomatoes and some peppers, so we have enough to make bruschetta. I am going to go ahead and replant this area here with some Bell Star broccoli, and then we're gonna head inside and I'm gonna show you how to make just a very delicious summer bruschetta. The rest of this tray is purple Napa and a regular Napa. All right, I'm gonna water these in. I'll meet you inside. Bruschetta is very simple. It has very simple ingredients, and that is why you need to make the best tasting bruschetta. I think that you should use the best quality ingredients that you can. So garden fresh basil and fresh tomatoes. This one's got a split down the middle, so we are definitely gonna use that because it's not gonna last long on the counter. I have balsamic vinegar, and I have olive oil. And you can also use fresh garlic. I don't currently have any, so I'll use garlic powder. I have fresh ground black pepper and salt. Those are the ingredients. Oh, there it is. I've already ground the black pepper, so we are gonna cut up the tomatoes. These are the ones that we just picked out of the garden. They are fresh and delicious. You cut the tomato into small pieces. You can use whatever kind of tomato that you have available. A really delicious heirloom variety would be great. Here in my house, I use what I have. They are very juicy. We won't use that part of it because I don't want my bruschetta super runny because I don't have a delicious bread to go with it tonight. Bruschetta is such a simple dish. You have to like the ingredients that you're putting into it. There is no hiding anything in this dish. So a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, some pepper, the salt that I lost again. Use whatever kind of salt that you like. A delicious basil salt would also be good in this, more like a finishing salt. You can smell it. And you can also put onions in it if you want, but we're not going to. It's date night. Nobody needs onions in their bruschetta. And we are going to, my husband brought me a bacon appetizer. We are going to put a huge amount of basil. That's how I measure this, huge amount. It's gonna be about yay big. Recipes are guidelines. You make them how you want to make them. If you like something, add more. If you don't like something, don't add it. My husband back here doesn't believe that. He thinks recipes should be followed to the T. All right, roll these up. Then we are going to just let this marinate until we eat dinner. My garden might have let me down this summer, but I'm so blessed that I can make fresh bruschetta with fresh ingredients right from my garden. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.